Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back. Had to take a quick little break. That last game, it tugged at my heartstrings. It was very deep feelings going around all over the place. But now we're back into it, and we're going to continue with Chinese Dota. And you know what? We're going to pop into this game because I think it's one that isn't going to be the best game to watch necessarily, but it's one that's really interesting. This is Ehome, and this is Ehome losing in like the second round to an open qualifier team. I don't know where it all went wrong. I don't know what the heck happened. They were winning for a little while there at the start, but now almost 10,000 net worth behind. Like this is not the way it's supposed to go. Oh, by the way, I need to change over a couple of things here. Just let people know. Switching to China Dota, twitch.tv/ Beyond the Summit. Let's do it. So yeah, this is like the second round of the open qualifiers or something crazy for Ehome. And they're about to get knocked out. Like, this is just some random Chinese team, and they're all over them. I don't know if this is smurfing that's going on or what exactly is happening, but it ain't looking good. That's for dang Skippy. So this ain't good. So, again, in case anybody doesn't know what the Ehome roster is, you take a look at it here. I've got Lanham, Old Chicken, CTY, JDH, one of maybe not like the star Chinese players, but he's been around a ton, and then same with Sen. And if you look at it, this was, again, a team that ended up giving over old 11 to newbie boss to be a part of that team. So they're no longer with their old offlaner, and they're running a new one here. And you know, it's sort of, I don't know, not been working out the best. Granted, the game is not over by any means, but yeah, this is rough. This is not what you want to have happen. Let me just pull this back up as well. Oh my goodness. So, trying to figure out the way back into it for them. I don't exactly know if they're going to be able to do it. They actually found Old Chicken here, and they have the Sentry Ward down as well, so they spot him out. Lifesteal can jump out in a second if they want to. Burrow Strike connects, and he's gone. That's the Aegis, at the very least. Nobody else from the rest of Ehome is coming. They're all up here on the top side just farming away. But we obviously haven't got to see what happens in this game too much, but 6-21 doesn't feel that good. Granted, they have some heroes in the late game that might be able to do something, but they also have like a CM. We did see how well Blitz was able to play that in the previous game, getting incredibly farmed very quickly, but this is not that CM. So, yeah, that's tough. Tough. We'll have to keep our eyes on, you know, these Chinese qualifiers. Again, just because they're not run through Faceit, we also don't have the brackets for these until we get to around the round of like 32 or 16 or something like that, which we are not at yet. So we're probably just going to be hopping around from game to game in between these and trying to follow some of the more well-known teams. A couple of the other ones that are happening right now, Newbie Boss is playing, which does feel like it might be a decent one to watch as well. They've been performing a little bit better. I still am not entirely convinced on them. I don't necessarily think that they're going to be the strongest in the world. And the same with Ehome. I actually don't know what round we're at, but I think it's like the first round of the China qualifiers because it only just recently started. It might be a little bit later than that, but not by much. Sunstrike? Yeah, I'm not going to hit him. And this is probably going to be a little bit of a different style of Dota that we're going to see anyways. Ryan was alluding to it earlier, and if you've ever watched much Chinese Dota, you'll know that it does have a different characteristic. Sometimes they play like way more aggro. Sometimes they play more farm heavy. But it does never necessarily feel like a lot of the other regions, in my experience at least. Whatever it might be that's going on in the meta with them. Sometimes you just get the 5-man style. To me, in this one, definitely feels like it's super team fight oriented. The Centaur almost has the Aghanim Scepter, and then you sort of bring down the damage potential that this team has. Oh, is that somebody linking me a bracket? Kisahimi just linked me a bracket, I think, but I'm not going to click on it because it might be a virus. And I'm sure that, you know, I get fired if I put a virus on BTS computer. So for the moment, we'll leave it alone. Old Chicken, he has a BK. God, look at this. Ugh, it's just rough. Like, there's the Desto there, sure. But BKB with the Dragon Lance and not a whole heck of a lot else. They do drop the... They actually end up killing him off. CTY ends up going down in the midst of that. Sen in some trouble as well. Sen chronoed the OD in with him. And that's a double kill for the Lifestealer. Ugh. Yeah, that hurts. Well, nonetheless, it's looking like another movement towards this Tier 2 tower and soon to be pressure up on high ground. Taking a look at levels, nothing really super significant that's coming up. You just got that stats one there for the Invoker, which is good. Yeah, Ehome definitely struggling in this one. This is not what you want to see out of this group. Alright, I'm going to trust you. Hopefully no virus comes up, and we'll see. No, it does look like it's actually the ones. Alright, I'm sorry that I ever disparaged your name. Although I can't click on anything. Jump in, Blink Crush. Not going to find anything there. Nobody is actually casting in the lobby for these either. So it's going to be tough. Here we go. And this is the open qualifier number 1. The other one, jump forward, able to find the kill. Lanham dies in an instant. That's Gem on the ground. Yeah. This is looking rather rough. Like, there's avenues back into it with, like, a Sanity's Eclipse or something big like that. But still a very hard sell at this point. The Invoker feels like he is just going to be able to take over the game, and with like a Lifestealer and Fest Bomb at any point in time, it's a tough one. Building back towards the AC now. OD is very farmed. He's not to be trifled with. And the skill, the kill score is definitely inflated above what you would imagine it might be. Send, Blink Dagger, Burrow Strikes there, Sunstrike to follow, right click, you get the Astral. Fine for the moment, Old Chicken on top of Wolf, he needs to back out of there. Does look like he's going to be able to, has a lot of armor still, they chase, they crush, not going to hit onto the Rage target. They get the Chronosphere down onto one, but now the Epicenter, the Burrow Strike coming through. He actually jumps inside the Chrono, a little bit off the mark there, but they have taken down Lanham already. Now BKB pop for CTY, Eul Scepter lift up. They're going to be able to back out of this one. The Witch Doctor Ag's ulti is going. Is that actually what that is? No, he doesn't have it yet, just the single ulti. But still CTY not dealt with in this fight. He has a ton of insta on 52, but doesn't end up getting off the Sanity's Eclipse. You do still get the blink away there, so Wolf survives. They only lose 2. In the meantime, OD barely able to get out of that one. That was super close. Let's take a look at that fight recap. That could have been so much worse for the Dire, so good way to get out of that one. And we will check out this. Is this the one? I just want to look at the bracket. Roshan, not up yet. Ah, there we go. So it's actually not the first round, it looks like. We're a little bit further on in the bracket. Cancel TP. Crush now on the Wolf. Centaur is going to try and run away. Gets the damage mitigation. They will catch him there in the Astral, but does look like he's going to live through it for the moment. But BKB now pop for CTY. They pop the BKB for Wolf as well. Gem is still on the ground. They need to get out of here before the BKB wears off, and they can continue the catch. Jump forward. Burrow. They connect on Old Chicken after the Gem pickup. He's dead. Oh, they got the reveal they needed. That is huge. And does look like JDH as well is going to go down. Able to switch over to that Cold Snap before he got out of there. And now Roshan open, free and available. Let's see, looking at this, CDECA, Ehome, Keen. This is Newbie Young. Duabao versus Biogio. Oh no. Oh no. Void, get out of there. You don't want to be here. Okay, yeah, so they're actually, they're pretty far in. They're in the third round, but they might get knocked out of here in the third round of the qualifiers.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
So this team's name is wolfz. That's what they're tagged up as. I don't think I recognize any of the players on it. Fly, obviously not the Fly from OG. RR, actually, no, that's the Southeast Asian player I'm thinking of. Yeah, I don't recognize any of these. I would imagine that they're CDEC players, like CDEC in-house league players. There's a ton of like really high-level talent in China outside of just the main teams, because what you end up happening is a lot of these teams will be formed based around streaming contracts, and you have like all of the big names that keep on getting recycled through, and you know they want to get them so they can get sponsors in and other things like that, and also just because I think that there's a lot of reverence held for them within the scene, so they make good leaders and in-game leaders and shot callers and stuff. But that does mean that there's a lot of like technically and proficient players that are just on the outskirts and could be a star player on a lot of the other teams, which is why you see like, you know, players like U9 and SCCC who pop up suddenly, and it becomes sort of the next hot thing in China. And again, if you do end up knocking Ehome down here, they're out of the qualifiers. This is the second one, which means they won't even make it to the regionals, which brings up a ton of questions about their possibility of getting invited to other tournaments as well. This is not insignificant. I mean, there's still going to be Ehome at a lot of the regional qualifiers, but I don't think that there's any way you don't invite Ehome. It just is kind of crazy, and shows the state of the game for Chinese Dota right now, at least for the old guard. Lanham finds the crush, tornado out, going to be dodged, splitting the uprights, EMP as well. Fly looking for his opening, but not going to go for it. Yeah, this is tough.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Tier 3 about to drop. Have the Forge Spirits just hitting away at it. God, that is disheartening. I think you go for the deny at this point. Like, they're just going to come up and hit it. Alright, yeah, they get the deny on the tower. But Lifestealer now with Alacrity. He rages, he walks forward, he backs out afterwards. They can't kill him off. Round 2. With an Urn and then regen from Witch Doctor, they can just keep doing this. An incredibly safe way to push down the barracks.
Under attack.
So I'm pretty sure that this is what this means, is that if you do end up knocking them out here, they will be eliminated, as far as I can tell. Another tornado being used. Alacrity, that's melee barracks down. Can jump inside a creep if he wants. Yep, there he is, catapulting out. Does end up losing it there. Frostbite, Rage back up in 3, but 4 staffed away. And they end up keeping LYN alive. And just, I mean, it's easy as pie. They literally sieged that there for so long, and there's nothing that Ehome could do. Because if you go in right there, then you've got, you know, Ag's ulti from Centaur to help keep him alive. You've got a decent counterplay as well with, like, I mean, conceivably they could go for a big Chronosphere play, but I just don't know if they have the damage to deal with it. Actually, that probably was like a Chronosphere in there available at some point. But then if you don't kill him during the Chronosphere, then what do you do? So AC completed long ago. The Aegis is still there on Lifestealer. I can't believe that. I mean, it makes sense now why Ehome wasn't invited to the regional qualifiers if it's been this rough. I think in China it's just, There was this period of time where like, oh god, did he pop his BKB too? Oh no. there is some tilting going on. Oh Sen. Alright. Well, this is yeah. Ehome Luminous have still looked good at times. That was the team that, if you guys remember Vici J, obviously one of the teams invited directly to the majors, Ehome Luminous picked him up from their old squad as well. So they have a history of creating good players out of the Ehome Luminous team. Butterfly here now for the Weaver as well. It does feel like, though, they could just... I mean, the difference here now is that they can't go Siege because Aegis isn't on the Lifestealer. So because of that, they have to be settled for at least waiting for the next Aegis, going over to the Shrines. I think we can keep our eye on this game out of the corner of our eye, because there might be another good one going on. So let's just do a quick little look-see. See if there's something else good to watch. There's the Ehome game going. Radiant versus Rampage. This one looks like it could be good. There's a Pudge and a Magnus. Oh, baby. CDEC Avengers, another great one, although it looks like they have an entirely new lineup, the exception of Schwan, who was their former coach, now switched over into a playing route. Ehome Luminous, like I said, another interesting team, although they've also completely changed up their squad. This one might honestly be the best game that's going on right now, because we're waiting for that next round of games to come up. So only 4 of them there. We'll wait for this one to finish, and then we'll probably hop into another. CM able to get down a ward. This was not scouted by the Dire. We do have pretty good vision as a pause comes out, as there's a scan. So they know where they're at. The scan, I believe, is right here. It's kind of hard to tell on the mini-map. We'll see in just a second. Yeah, they're scanning this out, so they know where they are. This might be a smoke play now. Do they have any? Not looking like it. Unless it's on one of these other heroes. Yeah, it's back out. Roshan, still a little ways away from spawning. Invoker, in the meantime, if there's one thing I know about Chinese Invokers, it is that they like their refresher combos. Although we tend to see like an Octarine core first. Yeah, and that is what he's going for. I didn't even see his queued up there. I wouldn't mind seeing some refresher combos out of this Invoker.
Well-gotten gains.
And top lane, you have Basher that's eventually going to be working on towards the Abyssal Blade. Still so much ability just to like shut down and kill off these heroes. Sen can come in for the counterplay, but no, Burrow, the strike is there. Yeah, it doesn't want to go for the it doesn't want to go for the Chronosphere.
Radiant's bottom
Bottom lane is being pressured in by the Invoker. He is not going to get caught. I do not believe. They turn now over to the Shrines. Several of them are grouped up. They could think about this now. Rage is about to wear off. They have Blink and Time Walk, but they can't get there in time. And a really long Roche timer. My goodness. But this is the luxury of having an Invoker here with your Shrine up, is that you can keep the bottom lane pressured out. And then if you see too many rotate down towards bottom when Roche is up, you just take it and, you know, TP in. You just need to be careful about, you know, TPs being broken, etc. And as the game goes on, I do think that this becomes a little bit closer, maybe. Granted, the CM is not going to be doing almost anything, but you do have a couple of heroes here out of Ehome that do become quite scary. Faceless Void in particular, if he gets into some damage after this Aghanims, but it requires them winning fights. So all comes down to this OD. And he does have the Moon Shard. You know, this could be the moment. If you're Ehome right now, God, if you get eliminated from the open qualifiers, Yeah, there are some fools getting kicked. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You are not going to keep the same team through the next round if you end up making it. Like, if you can't make it through the opens like this. Because we're not even out of, like, the first round of the opens. Into that next little phase. All right, here we go. They're making little yin-yang symbols on the map, it looks like. Old Chicken. They spot out the courier. That means that they realize where they're at. Old Chicken is showing. Can they get it? Burrow connects onto one. They do have a Chronosphere if they want to use it. Sen pops his BKB. Not hitting onto anybody. And, well, the Witch Doctor ulti almost kills him off. Where's the Chronosphere? It does finally drop. JDH doing a nice ulti as well, but it doesn't look like it's quite going to be enough damage. They caught, oh no, they caught the Weaver in the outside of it. And there it goes. 4 down. I thought that it was good. I didn't see that the Weaver was right on the edge, and it ends up being a complete and total disaster. Wasn't able to time-lapse effectively, wasn't able to get the Sakuchi away, and now buyback only there on the Chronosphere maker, the Faceless Void himself. It's looking like they might just be out of this one. And I'm sure Ehome cannot believe it. You think about this team and where it's been and these players and where they've been, and now getting dropped out of the opens. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. So first veggies and now Ehome. I don't know if I can take any more of this. All right, ladies and gents, let's hop into the next game, see what ends up happening.